What does heavy duty mean to you?
I think it really means more of a foundation because growing up, I really didn't understand of how much the world pretty much ran on all this stuff, and I think that's something you're not going to be able to get rid of because if you just look at it, everything that you go to the store, it got there from a heavy duty industry.
Yeah, no, I agree. I often say that the trucking industry or heavy equipment as well, it's the backbone of society, right? Without it, our whole way of life ends. So let me ask you something. There's many different, being a diesel technician, there's many different places that you could take your career. When you graduate and you enter the industry and start working, what part of the industry really interests you today? Like, where do you see yourself going?
I'm really interested in going into the more of the ag and construction side, just because I think it's more of a little bit of a challenge, and you kind of get to see a little bit new stuff. I do enjoy working on the over the road truck stuff like that, but I'm more of the ag guy, and I also am very interested in the field service side. I
Okay.
don't like I love the shop environment, AC heated is real nice, but I really like being outside in the elements, getting that experience because they also just make much more money than shop technicians do.
Yeah, no, there's a big opportunity there in any of the mobile repair. So we got to get you a truck, and we got to get you a truck with a crane because you're going to be working on big equipment. Okay, so let me ask you something. You've been at WyoTech a little while now, and I'm sure, like when you were thinking about going to this school, you obviously knew you were going to learn a lot about being a diesel technician. But have you learned anything, or has WyoTech taught you anything about yourself that maybe you didn't know before you got there?
It taught me quite a bit about myself. So a little bit going back before this, high school years were kind of rough. I didn't have
Mhm.
much of a drive for high school because I didn't enjoy it. But WildTech really kind of taught me how much I can drive myself and what I'm capable of. Never did I think I would have perfect attendance and a 4.0 GPA. But now that I look at it, I'm like, dang, I can do some things that I never thought I'd be able to do. And I did prove a lot of people wrong. And I just think that I learned that so much about myself is that I do have a very high drive for myself. Because even looking forward into the future, I'm still planning and planning every day of what I want to do and how I'm going to get there. And I always look at every step of how I'm going to get there very in depth and what I need to do to get there because I do want to get there and nothing's going to stop me.
A couple of things come to mind when you say that. One, never underestimate a man with a plan. And two, I think that sometimes you have good people that are in the wrong environment, right? And you put those good people in the right environment and then they flourish. And I think that's what's happened with you. So we are so happy that you chose to be a diesel technician, that you're going to join our industry. If there's just one thing you want people to remember about Dalton Fisher and this conversation, what's that one thing?
I wouldn't necessarily be about myself, but I think that people should remember that they should believe in themselves more than the other people believe in them. Because I believe if you believe in yourself more than other people, you're going to prove them completely wrong.
That is awesome. You've been listening to the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I'm your host, Jamie Irvin. We've been speaking with Dalton Fisher, current student at WyoTech, recipient of the Heavy Duty Parts Report Scholarship, and future diesel technician. Dalton, thank you so much for being on the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I really hope that one day when you're working and you're running your own equipment and you're running that mobile truck and you're doing your own thing, you'll come back on the show and tell us how you're doing. So make sure you stay in touch with us.
Yeah, I really appreciate you letting me come on here, and I really appreciate your guys' opportunity to let us apply for that scholarship.
Dalton Fisher is an impressive young man. I love his attitude, and I feel like he's someone who maybe has been overlooked in the past, but he is ready to prove to people that he has more to give. This is a young man with a plan, and I think he's going to be very successful in our industry. And I think he's got a lot more to give than some people maybe have given him credit for in the past. So we look forward to seeing what Dalton does when he becomes a heavy duty diesel technician.